And welcome to this week's show. Jeff Hathorn with you, along with the head coach of the University of Pittsburgh, Jeff Capel. And Jeff, it's definitely winter.
Yeah.
That has definitely set in. Just wonder, what were some of the things that you learned the last couple of games that you're really trying to emphasize with your guys?
Well, it's amazing what a difference a week makes. Last week when we were on the show, we were feeling really good, about what we had done the previous week, with playing Syracuse and with Duke. Privately, as we were, doing this, I was kind of stewing inside because we had the worst practice we had had all year. And, our guest last week, Ithio, kind of hinted at that. The thing that we have to learn is how hard it is to be good and how hard it is to be consistently good. And we have to do those things every day. We have to value each day, and you can't take a break if you want to be consistently good. I didn't think that our preparation for Wake Forest was at the level that it needed to be because I have so much respect for them as a team, for Steve Forbes as a coach, and I knew it was going to be a tough game for us. And I didn't think we had the same mental approach and the same edge that we had in our preparation for Syracuse and Duke. And we let down. We let up a little bit, and you can't do that in this league if you want to be consistently good. And then we played against a really good North Carolina team. Obviously, they're big. They have great size, and they just wore us down. But we had some opportunities. It's a 5-point game with 3 minutes left, and we make a mistake on defense, and they make us pay for it. That's what good teams do. And so, in order for us to be consistently good, we have to show up every day with the right mindset and the right attitude, and we have to be everyday guys.
It's like Carolina's playing with 12 arms. They're like an old Big East team.
Yeah.
They're huge, and I want to get more into that. But someone who knows about Big East basketball is joining us now from Fox Sports, Bill Raftery. Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm good. How's everybody?
Coach Raft, what's going on?
Jeff, how are you, pal?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Been better, but I'm doing well.
Can you go back? Can you go back to Durham, or is that out now?
I don't know. Hopefully we get to play them down there. Hopefully we get to make that game up somewhere.
You know what, Bill?
That'll be the last picnic you're invited to.
I know,
right? I was thinking about this earlier today. It was about 15 months ago that we were all in person getting ready to tip off a season, blissfully unaware of what was about to hit. Bill, how is
just incredible.
It really is. I'm curious from your standpoint, how has this pandemic kind of affected your love for basketball?
Well, it's destroyed my social life, for one. I mean, it's limited my opportunities to have a little lemonade on the road. But, the crazy thing about it is for Fox during the week, is I have a studio in my dining room. Now, for most families, that would be a catastrophe. I told my wife we're finally using the dining room for something constructive. And then on the weekend, CBS has put a studio out in Clifton, New Jersey, and most of you have been up near Giant Stadium. It's right near there. So we go over there the day of the game, and we Zoom, as I'm sure Jeff's done with different networks. Just to get a little insight. I'm happy, shocked, and surprised that we've been able to get this far, to be honest with you. It's just incredible the adjustments that administrators, coaches, and players have made. And obviously the poor fans, the best they can do is listen to nitwits like me on TV. It's like tragic for them. But the adjustments, they've worked. I think the kids are happy playing. I think the atmosphere is, basically like when you were a kid in grade school and high school, Jeff, nobody was there anyhow, but you played your butt off anyhow. So
yeah,
it's making the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, I think one of the things, and you mentioned this, I've said this. My wife and I talk about this all the time. Like I applaud all these kids. first and foremost, I'm grateful to the doctors and the trainers and the administrators and everyone, like you said, that has put so much into making this happen. But I applaud these young people, these young men and women that are out here playing, because there's nothing normal about this year. There's nothing normal about the school year, their social year, and certainly their athletic year. And it burns me up at times when I see them being judged like it's normal. When I see some people, especially collegiate kids, when I see people taking shots, or I see people, just being overly negative, towards a program, a kid, a coach right now, because it's nothing normal, about what's going on. And these kids deserve a lot of credit for going out there and being able to have the mental health, the mental fortitude, and the mental toughness to be able to get through what they're getting through.
I admire their discipline, and having said that, it's not to suggest that those who happen to be stricken with the COVID are doing something wrong.
Yes.
But just to curtail all their, as you mentioned, social activities, the exchanges that we all enjoyed when we were undergrads, and getting together and rejoicing after a win, and just spending time with the student body, just to control that, the self-discipline control that these kids have had has just simply been marvelous.
Absolutely.
And it's just been adjustment after adjustment.
Yes, absolutely.
As we continue here with the great Bill Raftery here on the Jeff Capel Show on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. And welcome back to the Jeff Capel Show. And Justin Champagnie has had quite a start to the season, first half of the season now at this point. And we are joined by Bill Raftery here on the Jeff Capel Show. And Bill, what are your thoughts of what Justin has done so far?
Yeah, I was in the middle of a great soliloquy there, but I may not have paid my Verizon bill, so it's probably on my end. But I was talking about how the two brothers, which are great stories, one leading each conference, ACC and Big East, but having a St. John's game recently, talking to Mike Anderson about the work habits of both of them and how they push one another and they critique one another. And I don't know where I left off with you, but I was figuring that, the brother in New York calls the brother in Pittsburgh and says, get Capel to give you the ball more. And then the other brother calls Anderson, tells him, get Anderson to give it more. But they've worked on their game, outside shot, putting on the deck, take good shots. They've got a great athletic family, as you well know. I mean, the father was an amazing soccer player, national champion, now coaching at Baruch, I think. Mm-hmm. But his growth, having seen him last year, is incredible. But I think it's attributable to being in the system. Jeff developing guys. He's been in a program all his life where the skill level is so important. And I think working with the Olympians, too, certainly has inspired him probably to extend all those skill situations where you advance the ability of players. But, it's just an amazing story and a great one for you people as well.
Absolutely. He's having an unbelievable year, and it's amazing when you talked about Julian and Justin. I got to know both of them when we were recruiting. We recruited both of them and wanted to get both of them, and it was so interesting. Julian was the one I thought that really wanted to come. Justin was like quiet and laid back and didn't really say much, didn't really return texts. And
Right.
Julian was the one that talked all the time. And I found out when Justin got here, like he told me, he's like, Coach, like the first day on the visit, I wanted to commit. Like I wanted to commit right then, but my mom wanted us to wait. But they are like they do push each other. They talk all the time. They FaceTime
Isn't that a great story?
nonstop.
Looks like you and your brother probably
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I would
no
think,
question,
right?
no
The
question.
similarities, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's pretty
And
amazing.
I think, I'm sorry. I think Julian was actually going to go to prep school,
He was.
if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
then I guess they talked it over, and he decided to enroll. I'm sure Mike Anderson's delighted about it.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
We thought we were going to get both, and then Julian said he wanted to go to prep. He was unsure if he was ready for college, and then Mike got the job there at St. John's, and obviously that's where his dad went and played soccer, and it's been great for Mike, and it's certainly been great for us.
I was just going to say I'm so happy that Jeff's got the program relevant again. I mean, it's such a great town. People really appreciate kids who leave it out there, and I think that's what he's gotten these kids to do. And as he continues to get better players, I think the future is going to be extremely bright for the program.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you about, and you answered it right there, so I want to go to the next point. We just passed the anniversary of Send It In Jerome, and I know you get asked about it a ton, but here's a question I don't know if you've been asked much. After that rim, after the glass shatters, like, how did you fill the time between then and when the next hoop came in?
Well, there is a story which I think I shared with Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
We had no studio presence, so Mike Gorman, being the pro that he is, we just started chattering, and Don Nelson was there to scout some of these Pitt kids. Jason Matthews, Charles Smith, Jerome himself, Sean Miller. I mean, so many good players. But he was then coaching Golden State. So he did that little fill for like 10 minutes. We went through every team in the league. We were running out of material, basically. And so he got off, and he took his headset. He said, "Where are you going after?" So there was a place downtown there that we used to go to. I can't come up with the name. And anyway, he said, "Look, I'll go, but I got to get out of there early. Can you get me a ride back? Because I've got a 6 o'clock flight back to California." So I said, don't worry about it. I've got this producer who doesn't drink, Don't worry about it. So anyhow, we end up at the place having a couple of drinks, and it gets to midnight, and Don said, "Where's that young kid that is going to drive me?" So I went in the back, and Jay Rothman, who ended up being the Monday night producer for years, football, somebody brought him to me, and he's had a few maybe beers too much. I said, "What are you doing?" He went to shake Don's hands. He missed it. And Don turned to the bartender and said, "Would you call me a cab, please?" So that was sort of the end of the night. But over the years, so many people have been at that game. I mean, you could have 20,000 after the amount of people that said they were there, and then others who got the glass that have pieces. I would run into them over the years. So really great memories of that team at that time, and particularly what he was able to do. I think Darryl Dawkins may be the only one that had done that before. I think he did it in high school. But nowadays you have a rolling basket. You're ready to go within 10 minutes. I think we had almost 40-some-odd minutes to fill, which was a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine trying to fill that long. Bill, I appreciate your time. I have one other quick question. If you're sitting, listening, or watching a game, who is the color analyst you most want to listen to?
Wow. That's sort of unfair. I will say this. I think I learn a lot from everybody that I really never get into suggesting this guy's better than the other guy. Everybody prepares. I mean, I don't think the general public, like, we try and know as much, if not more, than Jeff does about the other team, and as much as we can about his team, just from looking at tape. So, they're all so good, really. It's not a matter of just being, just learning something from what they've done, because they do their homework. And you glean things and steal things. It's very similar to coaching.
Yeah.
Somebody runs some stuff you like, You put it in the repertoire. You may not use it this year, but you save it for the future when it fits the type of talent you have.
I prefer the word borrow, Bill. It just sounds so much nicer.
Well, being from Jersey, we're known for being pilferers.
Well, hey, Bill, thank you for taking time. We look forward to where we
Thanks,
could see everybody in person again. Thank you again for your time.
I'm always happy to do anything for Pitt and Jeff and the gang. They've always been good to me. And look at the scores, and hopefully, he has a great end of the year, too.
Appreciate it, Coach Raff.
All right, guys. You be good.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
Bill
everybody.
Raftery here on Jeff Capel Show. Maybe the most improved Panther of this season. He joins us next. It's Jeff Capel Show on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
We got to be smart. We have to have poise. One, two, three,
And welcome back to the Jeff Capel Show. Jeff Hathorn here with the head coach of the Panthers. And we're joined now by, I'd say, Jeff, probably the most improved player on your team, part of your starting lineup. Abdul Kareem Koulibaly joins us. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. It sounds like it's happening where you're at.
No, I was watching YouTube.
Because that's what everybody does now is watch. It's such a big thing.
It's not much else to do right now.
No, you're right about that. 21 minutes a game, 5.3 points, over 4 rebounds. How do you feel, Abdul Kareem, that you've played this year?
I feel good, but at some point I feel bad too because as a big man, you have to have more rebounds. My point, I don't worry about point to scoring or whatever. I just need to have a team to win, to get a win, and have a lot of rebounds. I just need to be more aggressive on the ball.
So is that the key to get when you say you want to get more rebounds? Is that the biggest thing where you just need to be aggressive?
Then stay out of foul trouble because I get fouled so quickly. I think that's the point, like the team need me, like to bring energy because I'm an energy guy. So the team need my help. Then offensively and defensively, it's not me that offensively I want to score or not because if I set a good screen, then I'll roll hard. And that happen, I have a shot in the corner or the point I can go score. If I'm open, he can give it out to me. So I have to finish layup too because I can miss some easiest layup. That's blow my mind. I cannot sleep overnight. But I think it's all about confidence. I need to get my confidence up.
Abdul Kareem Koulibaly joins us, and I tell you what, Abdul Kareem, if you keep telling Coach everything he says, if you answer damn right, then that's going to be good. You're going to do really well in college basketball. When did you start playing basketball?
I started playing basketball 2013, October 26th.
Wow. So you haven't been playing that long.
No. I started when I was just turning like 2 months before, like because I'm December, born like 2000, December 23. So I was 13, like 14 years ago. I was turning to 14 years, I think.
Who convinced you to play?
Like I come from family, my brother and my sister. Two of my brothers play in the national team. One of my sisters play in the national team. So literally, they always talk about in the family all the time because in Africa, the men's sport is basketball. I came about my bad. It's soccer. So we all grown up play soccer. That's the only soccer you can make a lot of money if you're back home.
Abdul Kareem Koulibaly joining us. You were part of a team that had the first medal for an African country in a FIBA competition. You guys took home silver. What's the pride you had in being a part of that group and representing your country?
And Jeff, just real quick, like not just he was a really good player on that team. Like it was so much fun watching him and watching their country compete and the pride that they played with, and he played really, really, really well during that tournament. So go ahead, Kareem.
So I was very proud because, like I said, my sister and my brother they was talking about like because they all went to third place, in the national team. So I said, y'all was talking about laugh at me, y'all flew, y'all do all that. So I said, I'm gonna get in there, play basketball. I'm gonna be the best I can be. So I'm gonna be all y'all. Like I'm gonna win the championship for my country. Then I'm gonna do big things, ever like it never happened before in the African basketball history. So I was very proud to myself and my teammates and my coaches, like because my dream, that's a big dream. Like it's like half of my goal. Like I really appreciate it. Like I don't have word for it.
That's amazing. I envy you both to get to represent your country in those situations is awesome. Abdul Kareem, thank you for your time. Hey, best of luck on Saturday, and go get them on the boards.
Yeah, I got you. I will do my best.
Appreciate it, AK.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, man.
A former Panther now involved in the NBA will join us next as we continue on the Jeff Capel Show on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. And welcome back to the Jeff Capel Show here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. Jeff Hathorn with you, and we are joined now by a former Panther, now working for the Utah Jazz in development and advanced scouting, Chris Jones. Chris, it hasn't been that long since you've been here at the Peterson Event Center. Welcome back, at least virtually, here to Pitt.
Yeah, it feels good to be back, and at least virtually, like you said, and it feels good to talk to my former Pittsburgh people.
What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
What's up, Coach? How are you?
How's Utah treating you?
Not bad at all. And
have you learned all of the big, thick playbook that Quinn uses?
Oh yeah. I mean, I have a little bit of that responsibility this year. So
yeah,
I'm still trying to learn as much as possible.
He is amazing. He is absolutely amazing. He's one of the smartest people and the best coaches I've been around. Quinn Snyder, who's the head coach there, Jeff. He, my junior year at Duke, he became an assistant. He was there the whole time. My first 2 years, he was a GA.
Right.
He was in law school and business school at the same time. And then he became a full-time assistant when I was a junior and senior. And it's interesting, Chris is doing development. Quinn was like he was so ahead of his time. That was 95, 96. And when he joined our staff, he was so into player development, and we didn't have that. During my first 2 years at Duke, that wasn't something that was emphasized, and I got so much better, man, in those 2 years being with him. And then he's like the coolest guy in the world, and so
right.
I'm really happy for you, man, that you're out there with him.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And just to piggyback off what you said, like being able to learn from him this past year and a half has been amazing. He's so detailed and he's so good at what he does. Being under him, you learn so quickly. Yeah. So it's been a great experience for me.
Awesome.
Chris, I know we're walking a fine line here, but you've had some good games in your career against Duke. And, of course, the Panthers beat Duke.
That's right.
Like, is there any discussion about that with Quinn?
No. I don't bring that one up. I don't bring that one up to him. We did talk about this last game, Pitt beating Duke, and how happy he was for Coach Capel. So, but I'll leave that one alone.
Chris, what was it like for you to play basketball at Pitt? What did it mean to you?
I mean, it meant everything to me. I've always watched those guys play in the Big East. I've always seen how tough their teams were. the winning percentage that they had, and it meant a lot being from a small town in New Jersey, just being able to go play for a big school like that and represent where I'm from and my parents. So that always meant a lot to me. And Coach Capel was doing a great job carrying that tradition on. Just watching them this year, the toughness, the intensity that they play with, it's been great. Yeah.
Do you feel watching this team like, okay, now they're getting into what Pitt basketball is?
Exactly, and I think it has a new feel to it, and that's something that's great. It has a new swag, and Coach Capel and his staff has brought that, and they've looked good this year. I mean, they play with speed, they play with force, and it's been fun to watch.
Hey, Chris. Hey, congrats on everything, man. Best of luck as your career goes forward.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Jeff, it seems like every year with Notre Dame, like they're good at shooting threes, and they've got a guy that can play in the post. What about this? What have you seen?
Well, that's very accurate of them. 43% of their shots are threes on the season. They shoot it a lot. Coach Bray gives them a lot of freedom to do it. They have multiple guys that can really get going and put the ball in the basket, led by Nate Leshevsky, who's one of the most improved guys in our league. At 6'10", he's leading the league in field goal percentage and three-point field goal percentage. And so he's a matchup nightmare because of his ability to shoot the basketball, but also his size. And he's gotten stronger. He can go inside and bang now.
I shake my head because I think about your father in our last 30 seconds here. Like, if you would tell him now that a 6'10" guy is shooting threes, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
a different time.
It really is. All right, thanks to our guest, to Bill Raftery. It's always fun. You could spend forever talking to Bill. To Abdul Kareem Koulibaly, what a great story for him as well, and improving. To Chris Jones and working in the NBA, we appreciate him. To Matt Pliska, Amanda Sile, and to Cale Berger. We'll catch you Saturday night here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.